Even if you think she doesn't like you, you might have assumed she was definitely flirting, but if you later discover she's always hinting at it, this video will change everything. I'm going to give you 30 specific signs that indicate she's flirting with you. Not the obvious signs everyone talks about, but the subtle signs that occur in real life. You may not have completely overlooked some of these points. Other points will help you better understand your past relationships. I've saved some of the most important ones for part 2, so keep reading until the end. You'll have a complete understanding of the situation after we finish. Let's begin. First, you'll be asked a series of questions about the points I mentioned earlier. I told you you had an important presentation last week and asked how your day went. You mentioned you were thinking about getting a dog, so she sent you a picture of a golden retriever she'd seen 3 days later. It wasn't just a nice memory, it was genuine interest. When a woman remembers the little details of your life and brings them up without you asking, she's thinking of you in the midst of your conversations. Most people forget what you said 5 minutes after saying it. When you read and examine your resume, you'll find that this isn't just a friendly compliment, it's an investment. Investment is the foundation of charisma. Secondly, you find ways to agree with what you say, which aren't really differences of opinion. You believe that thin crust pizza is the best. She exclaimed immediately, not saying fried food is better, but smiling. You mentioned you're an energetic person in the morning. She rolled her eyes and said, energy people in the morning are skeptical, but there's no intelligence in that. It's just a simple objection. She's not trying to change your mind. She's just creating an excuse to annoy you, to keep the conversation going, and to see your reaction to a simple objection. Women do this when they want to create a tense atmosphere without conflict. If her interaction with you makes you feel happy rather than annoyed, she's flirting. Pay attention to her words, not her actions. Third, she'll tell you things she thinks will pique your interest before telling anyone else. You see a post about something you love and immediately share it. You're the first person you want to tell about an event you're excited about. You find a restaurant that serves your favorite food and message them about it before posting it anywhere else. Here's what it means. You're always on her mind, even when you're not there. She's mentally compiling a list of what's important to her, and when she finds something that suits her, you're the first thing that comes to mind. This attention isn't accidental. She's actively creating moments of connection with you. Even when you're not around, it's not just friendship. She's someone who strives to remain present in your life. Fourth, it uses the plural pronoun we when talking about future scenarios. When mentioning an upcoming concert in town, it says, we should go there. When mentioning a new restaurant, it says, we should try this place. It doesn't say, you should visit it, or it looks delicious. It places itself in your future, as if it were inevitable. It's a subtle glimpse into the future. She's trying to imagine how she'd feel if you did things together, and she's doing it in a way that doesn't require a yes or no answer. When she uses this technique in hypothetical situations, she's often mentally rehearsing what it would be like to be with you. And if she continues to do this, she hopes to turn one of these hypothetical scenarios into a real plan. Fifth, she suddenly starts thinking about things she never considered before. You like cars, so she asks you about engine specifications. You support a particular sports team, so she mentions their last game. You're interested in cooking, so she suddenly asks you what kind of knife you use. She shows no interest in your infidelity. She tries to find common ground, speak your language, and understand what makes you happy. When a woman starts to learn about the things you like, even if they seem unusual, she wants to know the most important aspects of your life. What happens next is a surprise to everyone. She's building a bridge to your world. This isn't just casual curiosity, it's a deliberate attempt to connect. Sixth, remember that she's single and engaging in casual conversation. When discussing weekend plans, she says, yeah, I'm living life the way I want. Single life in all its glory. And when discussing movies, she says, I haven't been on a date in a while. These aren't complaints, they're signals. She's making sure you're available without saying, I'm ready. It's one of the oldest subtle tricks, and it works because it sounds like a casual comment, not a formal declaration. When she changes her relationship status to casual conversation, she's trying to dispel any doubt you might have that she's a viable option. She opens the door. The question is, will you take a look? 7. She asks your opinion about her clothes because you've seen them before. She enters wearing something new. You notice. Then, after 20 minutes of conversation, she asks you, do you like this dress? Or, does it look good? Because she's unsure. She asks because she wants you to pay special attention to her beauty. She's giving you time to focus on her appearance and comment on it. This is her way of saying, I put effort into my appearance today, and I want you to notice. If she asks for your opinion after you've been with her for a while, she's giving you permission to look at her more closely, and that permission itself is a form of flirting. Eighth, she shows you bad pictures of herself. Most people only share a composite image of themselves. She shows you a picture of her eyes half closed or her hair messy while she's laughing. She sends you a screenshot of a scary angle or a funny face. It's a weakness that's rewarded as a joke. She's testing whether you'll find her attractive even if she's not perfect. When a woman shows you her true self from the start, she believes you see her as more than just a pretty face. She's not concerned with dazzling you with idealized images. She strives to create a genuine feeling of comfort with you. And here's the secret to this comforting attraction. 9. She adjusts something about her appearance the moment she sees you. She fixes her hair as soon as you enter the room. And when you look at her, you find her adjusting her shirt or looking at her reflection in her phone. It's instinctive. She sees you, and her mind immediately says, "How do I look now?" It's subconscious. She makes a point of being friendly, especially around you. If her behavior changes as you get closer, her body is attracting your attention before her mind. This is one of the subtle signs that she's interested in you more than just by chance. Take a moment to consider it. If this happens immediately after she sees you, it's no coincidence. 10. She tells jokes that only she understands. You're in a group, and she mentions something that only the two of you have experienced. She uses phrases that make no sense to anyone else, but they make you both laugh. She creates a private language and a shared history with you that alienates everyone else in the room. Shared jokes are a way to connect. They create a sense of intimacy, whether you're alone or in public. If you often talk about things you both understand, it reinforces the idea that you have something special about you. This difference is the foundation of a romantic relationship. She sets boundaries between you and makes your feelings clear. These are the first signs you might notice in your initial conversations. Now let's see what happens when she shows interest in you and tries to persuade you to take the next step. 11. She asks for your help with things you can easily do yourself. She needs help moving a small piece of furniture. She can't use her phone. She asks if she can drive somewhere even though she owns a car. Frankly, she doesn't need help. She needs a reason to connect with you. Interested women create opportunities to connect, offer help, and spend time with you under the guise of practical interest. This is a strategic weakness. It gives you an excuse to be around her, to feel important, and to play a role in her life. When you ask her for things that don't require help, she creates a sense of intimacy, and if you keep agreeing, she'll keep asking. 12. You're making her struggle with things that others can do. You were 5 minutes late, and so were 3 other people, but she made fun of you for it. She told silly jokes and criticized you with a smile. She treated you differently from the others in the room, not because she was upset with you, but because she paid more attention to you. When a woman playfully teases you, she creates a dynamic that allows you both to exploit each other's anger. This only works when there is underlying love, and when she offers you mild criticism, she creates a personal bond with you stronger than with anyone else. 13. You remember ordering your coffee without writing it down. You once mentioned that you prefer your coffee black with sugar. The next time you meet, you order it without asking. You told her you don't like vinegar on your burgers. You remembered this 6 weeks later and made sure to mention it when ordering food. It's not just a pleasant memory, it's more like a record. It's a list of your preferences because she's thinking about the future when she might need to know these things. When a woman remembers small, seemingly insignificant details about you, she sees every interaction as an opportunity to make a difference. This level of attention isn't just about flattery. This comes from someone who has often wondered what it feels like to be in your life. 14. She assumes a posture that forces you to walk beside her. You're at a party, and she's standing between you and the door. You're at work, and she's sitting at your desk for an unreasonably long time. It sits where you need to see it as you move around. This is strategic positioning. It places itself in your field of vision, in your personal space, and in your path, so interaction with it is inevitable. If it consistently appears in places where you need to be aware of its presence, it's not by chance. This makes it easier for you to get closer to her, understand her, and find a reason to talk to her. It removes the barriers between you. All you have to do is understand the hint and bridge the gap. 15. She sends you songs without explanation. A link to a random song appears in your messages without context. Or she says, "This reminded me of you." And she attaches a song you've never heard before. Here's what happens. She's trying to express something she can't say directly. Music is an emotional shortcut. When a woman sends you a song, she's hoping you'll hear the words, hear what she's feeling, and understand what she's trying to express without a translation. It's one of the most subtle forms of flirting because it requires attention and understanding what's implied. When she sends you music, she's sharing a part of her inner world, hoping it will pique your interest enough to explore it. 16. She asks you, in a completely different context, if you're going to meet someone. You're talking about work, and suddenly she asks, "Are you dating someone else right now?" It might seem odd, but it's not. She was waiting for an opportunity to ask, and when she didn't find it, she came naturally. That's searching. She needs to make sure the path is clear before she goes the extra mile, takes her time, and shows obvious signs. If a woman interrupts a completely unrelated conversation to ask about your relationship status, she's not just making casual remarks. She's trying to gauge whether you're worth pursuing. Her desire for a smooth transition suggests this question has been on her mind for some time. Answer honestly, as what you say next will shape the future of the relationship. She tells you that when she goes somewhere, you might be there too. She says she's going to a certain cafe tomorrow morning. She says she'll be at a certain cafe this weekend. She says she's planning to visit the new library she mentioned, and she gives you its location in advance, as if she were giving you a map. The invitation is informal and non-binding. It tells you where she is, so if you attend, it will seem natural and unplanned. If she regularly shares her schedule or plans with you, you'll hope to use that information to make an appointment. You're doing half the work. All you have to do is show up. 18. You laugh at things you think about hours later. You tell a joke at lunch and you're still laughing at dinner. You say something clever and the next day you're laughing again. She reminisces about the times you spent together, remembers the moments you shared, and finds new reasons to smile later. When a woman thinks of you enough to rekindle the romance, you occupy a mental space that transcends mere coincidence. If she laughs at your jokes later, it's because she was thinking of you at the time. This kind of consistent presence is what establishes attractiveness in a person's mind. 19. You point out your skills to others. You're in a group and you say, "He's great at fixing things," or "He knows everything about this subject." This introduces you to others, raises your standing in social situations, and shows people your worth. It's social acceptance. She's adapting to your abilities. She subtly hints to the class that she's noticed something that impresses you. This also serves another purpose. She's testing your reaction to the private compliment she's giving you. When she praises you in front of others, she's not just offering you support, she's assertive. She makes you feel like she sees you, likes you, and wants everyone to see her. 20. She reacts differently when others touch you. She doesn't really notice when someone touches her arm. When she does, she either stands still for a second, leans forward slightly, or her facial expression changes. It feels completely different no matter who makes the same movement. This is an involuntary reaction. Her body actually adapts to your touch in a way that differs from someone else's. She might not even realize she's doing this, but if she pays attention, the difference will be obvious. If your physical reaction is different from how she responds to others, her nervous system has determined that you are different. This body language doesn't lie. It's one of the clearest signs of attraction, even if she doesn't say a word. If you find yourself exhibiting any of these signs, others will take them seriously. These are signs that she's not just interested, but is actively trying to find out if you feel the same way. She asks you what you think about another man who seems interested in her. She tells you about the guy who asked her out or texted her, then asks for your opinion. It sounds like she's asking for advice, but she's not. She's trying to make you jealous. She wants to see if you're bothered by the idea of being with someone else. If this prompts you to react and ultimately motivates you to take action, it's a test. If your reaction is indifferent, she's letting you know she's not interested. If you feel nervous or try to distance yourself, she's letting you know she is. When a woman points to other men in front of you and asks for your opinion, she's giving you an opportunity to prove your interest. You hope to confess your feelings to her. Most men completely overlook this and consider it a private conversation. Don't. 22. She makes excuses to stay after you've left. The group is shrinking and she's about to leave. Suddenly she remembers she's finished drinking, or she's not ready to leave, or she's waiting for a car. Everyone leaves and it's just the two of you. This isn't a coincidence. She didn't cheat on him. She wanted the influence of others to fade, for you to be occupied, and for the situation to shift from a group to a one-on-one. When a woman finds ways to extend the time she spends alone with you, she creates opportunities, perhaps for a deeper conversation, or perhaps for something to happen that isn't happening in front of others. She's always the last one left after everyone else is gone, hoping those extra minutes will turn into something deeper. 23. She tells you about her day without you asking. You don't ask her how her morning was. She starts talking to you. She shares a funny incident that happened at work, something that bothered her on her commute, or something she suddenly noticed. She tells you about her life because she wants you to be a part of it. When a woman shares the details of her day, she invites you into her world. She provides context and details, allowing you to see aspects of her daily life that she wants you to consider. This builds a friendly relationship. She doesn't expect you to ask questions. She assumes you already know. This assumption is based on her hope that you're as interested in her life as she is in yours. She falls silent when you're talking to another woman. You're talking to someone else, and you notice her silence. The silence is still there, but the tone has changed. She's watching you, listening, maybe even pretending to be on the phone. It's a jealous, subtle, and possessive silence. It's not obvious, but you can't help but respond. This is because it's uncomfortable to see a woman silent while talking to another woman, her attention seemingly directed elsewhere. She's trying to understand what's going on, hoping to redirect your attention back to her. If another woman's mood changes noticeably when she receives your attention, it means she's emotionally primed to want that attention focused solely on her. She asks you what you're doing next, seemingly out of curiosity. "What are you doing tonight?" she says. It sounds like she's starting a conversation with no other ideas or plans for the weekend. But here's the thing. She's not just curious. She's testing you. She's trying to see if you're ready without asking directly. That's a nice question. If you say you're busy, she's trying to save face because she didn't ask you directly. But if you say you're free, she'll have a chance to hint at something or let on that she'll be there. When a woman asks about your plans in such a casual and unobtrusive way, she's hoping it will make it easier for her to ask you out. Don't just answer the question. Try to understand its underlying meaning. 26. You might mention something you both enjoy doing together without explicitly stating it. For example, "I've been wanting to try that new restaurant for a while," or "I really want to try that walking trail everyone's talking about." She doesn't say we have to go or that you want to come with her. She says it aloud. This is a perfectly acceptable excuse. She dismisses the idea without making it stick in your mind. If she notices this and suggests you leave, great. If she doesn't, she might pretend to think aloud. When a woman mentions activities that perfectly suit your needs, she's hoping you'll connect the dots and turn her words into a plan. She gives you the design. All you have to do is turn it on. Well, if you look closely, you'll notice it changes everything. 27. She notices when you change something about your appearance. It's completely different from your last haircut. She notices. You're wearing a new shirt. She comments on it. You shaved, changed your cologne, wore different shoes, and she noticed immediately. That's keen observation. You pay close attention to the details that most people notice when they see things they really want. When a woman notices subtle changes in your appearance, it's because she's really looking at you. She's familiar with your usual style. The differences are obvious to her. This kind of attention doesn't happen by chance. It happens when someone is truly focused on you. Even small changes are taken into account as long as your presence matters. If she notices details that no one else does, she's receiving more attention than you realize. 28. She'll involve you in conversations you weren't part of. She might be talking to someone else, then suddenly interrupt, asking, "What do you think?" Or "What did you know about this?" Or she might change the subject to include you. She won't let you be a bystander. She wants you to participate, to be present, and to be aware of the moment. When a woman goes to great lengths to include you in her relationships, even if you're on the periphery, it's because she wants you close to her. She's careful not to be forgotten, neglected, or excluded. She values your presence. This effort she makes to make you part of her social fabric is clear evidence that she wants you nowhere else but close to her. It asks questions about your past that go beyond casual conversation. It doesn't ask where you came from, but rather how you grew up there. It doesn't ask what you learned, but why you chose that place. It wants to know about your past relationships, your childhood memories, and the moments that shaped who you are. It's an in-depth exploration. She's trying to understand the real you, not just the superficial image you present to everyone. When a woman starts asking questions that demand genuine answers, she's signaling that she wants more than just a superficial relationship. She wants depth, context, and your story, and that's how people deepen relationships when they intend to stay. She'll be more reserved with you than with others. She's usually calm, composed, and cautious with everyone else. But with you, she'll be more boisterous, chaotic, and spontaneous. She'll swear a lot, laugh louder, and say things she wouldn't say to others. When she's not busy with work, she lets go of her reserve in a way that reveals her true personality. It's growing confidence and comfort. She's showing you the image she expects from the important people in her life. And she does this because she feels safe with you. When a woman stops trying to impress you and starts being honest with you, she's not losing interest. She's simply decided that seeing you for who you really are is too risky. This kind of vulnerability is the beginning of true intimacy. Now that you understand what flirting is, here's the problem most men face. They eventually recognize the signals, but subconsciously, they suddenly lose their composure. They act in ways that seem natural, but in reality, they're showing disinterest. They miss the right moment. They wait too long or act awkwardly. The girl he was flirting with was sure he wasn't interested. The video below explains how this happens, the things that might make her think you're not interested, and how to fix the situation before she loses interest completely.